What's going on, everybody? As always, thank you for tuning in. Today, I want to talk to you about how you should be persisting when it comes to sales, when it comes to business. If you're in front of prospects, you're in front of clients, if you're in the middle of negotiations, how you should be persisting. And it's a concept that I've created myself over the last decade of being in sales and looking at how people have done it the wrong way and how you should not be persisting. And then also looking at how the right way to persist actually goes and how you should be approaching your sales interactions or your negotiations, and exactly how you need to be persisting in order to get the deal done, in order to not annoy your prospect, in order to not cost yourself a deal, not burn bridges, and also just not sound repetitive and mundane. So I want to talk to you about this concept. I'll give you the name of it and also break it down for you. But all that said, before we get into it, make sure to smash that like button. As always, make sure to comment your thoughts below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure you're subscribed as well. And with that being said, let's get into it. So this is a concept that I actually call adaptive persistence. And this is something that I came to after years and years and years of being in sales, looking at all these other salespeople in the places that I worked or in the companies that I was a part of, looking at other entrepreneurs and seeing how they approached negotiations, deals, acquisitions, whatever it is that the context of that persistence was, and looking at the wrong way to do it and thinking about what a better way would be to do it. So I'll give you an analogy now that you know the name. Again, adaptive persistence is what I call this. And I've never heard anybody speak about this in my past decade of being in sales. So it is something that I came to from my own experiences that I want to share with you. So an analogy that I want to give you is, imagine all sales professionals or all entrepreneurs were fighters, were either boxers, MMA fighters, however you want to picture it, right? The only thing they knew, and this is most sales professionals and entrepreneurs, the only thing they knew was how to throw a jab. And all they did is throw a jab. And the entire fight, every single round, every move they made was just a jab. And that's all they did. Just threw jabs, 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 jabs. Eventually, your opponent is going to catch on to that. Your opponent will slip the jab, roll the jab, come back with combos. And chances are, with that one movement, you're not going to win that fight. So if we take that to sales and business, it's the exact same thing. Most sales professionals and entrepreneurs only know how to jab. So they just jab, 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 and they don't have any other way of persisting, of moving the deal forward, of connecting with that prospect, of understanding them, acknowledging them, figuring out how to come up with solutions and solving the problems that they have in their mind that are essentially the obstacles in the deal getting done. So all they do is jab, 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 aka what they do is just ask the prospect, are you ready to make a decision now? Are you ready to buy now? Are you ready to give me your credit card information? Are we good to go? Can we move ahead? You know, it's all just questions that are jab type of questions along the lines of persisting, but really just persisting on that one question of closing the deal. So what I like to call adaptive persistence means you're actually adapting and changing your approach as you're navigating this conversation, as you're going through the process, as you're talking to this prospect and figuring out what their needs are, what their wants are, what the main problem is that they're looking to solve. And then you're actually changing your approach and adapting the way you persist in order to help them out, in order to genuinely give them a solution. And you're persisting in different ways because you're solving different problems that are coming at you, different objections, different comments they're throwing at you, and you're solving those things. And in that way, you're being adaptive. So now what happens is, instead of you being the sales professional that only knows how to jab, 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 you actually know how to throw combos. You know the full art of selling persuasion, persistence, and you can actually adapt the way that you persist with that prospect. You can change the ways that you approach that closing that deal or that specific scenario. And as you're going through your sales process, you're adapting, you're changing, you're figuring out what they really want to focus on, what's important to them, and you're giving them the solutions for those very specific things for that specific scenario. And with that type of adaptive persistence, you're able to close a lot more deals. You're able to close everybody who is closable, and your closing ratio should immediately go up by doing this. And you're just going to get better results because you're going to connect with people on a much deeper level, on a much more genuine and authentic level, because again, you're adapting your persistence approach to things that they care about, to challenges that they have with their specific problems around your product or your service, or the solution that your product or your service has given them. So because of that, your clients and your prospects will respect you more. You're going to make better and deeper connections, and it just all compounds to not only close that deal, but over the long term, give you much better results as well. So I hope you got value out of that. I hope you understood the concept of adaptive persistence. And I hope you get that analogy from being a boxer or a mixed martial artist who only knows how to throw jabs to becoming well-rounded and well-versed in your industry, in your field, in your skills of selling, negotiating, closing, handling objections, and things like that. So one way to do that is adaptive persistence. I hope you got value out of that, and I hope that you start to implement this right away, because I guarantee you the results will show up with due time as long as this is actually followed and implemented. So all that said, as always, appreciate your time and appreciate you tuning in. Hope you got a ton of value from that. And of course, make sure to smash that like button and share this video with more people that are in sales, that are in business, people that you think would actually enjoy this or get value from it. And let's continue to spread the message. So on that note, I'll see you in the next video.